brother told everyone I tried to take advantage of his drunk wife when I refused to lie about his infidelity, but now his wife, Karma, and I are in a competition to ruin him. So, I'm pretty sure my whole family hates me right now for something I didn't even do. This all started about 2 months ago. My brother, let's call him Dante, has always been a moron, but recently he reached a new level of stupid. Dante's married, been married for like 6 years. His wife is great, honestly. She's way too good for him. But hey, not my business until he made it my business. We were at a family barbecue at my parents' house. Everyone was there, cousins, uncles, the whole crew. Dante pulls me aside, all sneaky, with a beer in his hand because he'd already been hitting it pretty hard, and drops this bomb on me. Hey, if anyone asks, I was with you last Saturday. Didn't explain why, didn't say anything else. Just expected me to nod along like a good little brother. I asked him why. He got all squirrely, wouldn't look me in the eye. Started mumbling something about how he made a mistake and needed my support. Long story short, Dante cheated on his wife, and it wasn't just some drunken kiss at a bar. It was a full-blown, hotel room affair. And now he wanted me to lie to everyone and say he was at my place watching UFC fights. I told him straight up, nope, not getting involved in your mess. He got pissed, started laying on the guilt trip. You're my brother, if my family doesn't support me, who will? But I don't care if we share blood, cheating is wrong, and his wife is his family too. I told him again, not going to lie for you. Tell her the truth right now and deal with your own crap. I walked away before I said something worse. I thought about telling his wife everything, but then I remembered I had no proof. Which reminds me of this one time I told a friend I saw his girlfriend at a bar with another guy, and we stopped being friends that day. He chose to believe her over me, and since we were young and didn't have camera phones, it was tough to prove. Doesn't really have to do with the story, but he eventually got fed up and divorced her years later when he caught her with someone else. That's why I prefer to stay out of these things, let alone cover them up. Knowing what happened after, I don't know what my brother would have done if I was the first to deal the blow. The next day, my phone blew up. Missed calls, texts, angry Facebook messages from people I didn't even know. Apparently, Dante went nuclear. He told everyone I tried to force myself on his wife while she was drunk. His plan B, after I wouldn't help him lie, was to destroy my life. He told our mom and half the world, just not his own wife. The story was, after the barbecue, his wife got drunk, and I cornered her in a room and tried to take advantage of her. A complete lie, nothing even remotely close to that happened. I barely said 2 words to her all night, hi, and good to see you. From what I gathered at the party, she had a little too much to drink and went to lie down in one of the bedrooms. That's what he used as an excuse to say I wanted to attack her, and where my brother protected her before it was too late. But guess what? When you throw out an accusation like that, people don't wait for facts. My mom called me screaming, told me to stay away from family events. Didn't even ask for my side of the story. I tried calling Dante, straight to voicemail. Texted him, what the hell are you doing? No response. Called his wife because, hell, I had nothing to hide and a few things to say. But she didn't answer either. The next day, I showed up at my parents' house because I wasn't playing this game. Dante was already there, acting like nothing happened, sitting on the couch eating chips, watching football. As soon as he saw me, he stood up all defensive, puffed out his chest, and said loud enough for everyone to hear, you need to leave, you're not welcome here after what you did. I laughed, which was that, or throw the coffee table on his head. I said, you're a bag of lies, and you know it. Then my mom started crying. My dad told me to leave. I couldn't even explain anything. They didn't even give me 5 seconds to say something. They shoved me out the damn door like I was a criminal. So yeah, I lost my entire family in 48 hours because my idiot brother couldn't keep it in his pants and thought blaming me was easier than being a man and owning up to his mistakes. And the best part, he's still married. But if he thinks I'm just gonna stay quiet or something, he's wrong. I could care less what the family thinks of me right now. If they've believed him so easily, Dante has helped me see who they are. But he's going to have to show a judge that what he says is true. He'll need to make a formal complaint, too, with evidence to back up what he said. When I'm done with him, he won't have anything left. And if it were legal, I wouldn't even leave him his teeth. Before continuing, don't forget to subscribe. New stories every day. Update 1. Right after I got shoved out of my parents' house like I was some kind of criminal, I went straight home and started gathering every piece of evidence I could find. No crying, no feeling sorry for myself. I was in full-on war mode. First thing I did, pulled out my phone and checked Dante's social media. The idiot hadn't blocked me. Dante had been liking posts from people he shouldn't be liking while married, for months. Did he think he was getting revenge on me for not lying? Well, now I'm not going to lie and I'm going to show the world that he did. Second thing I did, checked my apartment building's security camera footage. I live in a building with a digital system. Every time someone uses their key fob on the main door, it gets logged. Guess whose key fob isn't on the log for the night he said he was with me? Dante's. Meanwhile, I had Uber Eats receipts from Taco Bell at 11:23 p.m. Email confirmation of the receipt. Photo of the driver dropping off the order. All time stamped while he was supposedly at my place. Then I went nuclear. I made a Google Drive folder, called it Dante's a Liar, and uploaded everything, organized by date and color-coded. Yeah, I went full-on work mode. Sent the link to Mom, Dad, Dante's wife, all my cousins, a couple of aunts and uncles who are always into the family gossip. The kind you know are gonna spread it. Then, when I'm done, while I'm waiting, I call a lawyer to sue Dante. 10 minutes passed. I was still talking to my lawyer, but my phone started buzzing. Started getting texts from family members saying they didn't know about this part. And since I also included that since I refused to lie for him, he decided to lie about me. Suddenly, everyone stopped talking about what I'd supposedly done, and started talking about Dante. It started making sense to a lot of them. Some family members said both things could have happened and no, that didn't clear me, but I blocked them. Like I said, Dante will have to prove what he said is true in front of a judge, and if not, there will be consequences. Dante went into full panic mode, started blowing up my phone with texts. Then he called, and I answered to tell him, "You're not welcome on my phone after what you did, so I'm blocking you, bro." He'd figure it out later when the texts didn't go through and the calls didn't connect, but I wasn't gonna miss out on hearing him squirm. Didn't tell him about the lawyer, didn't want to give him a heads up to prepare. My mom texted me to call her right then, because she needed to talk to me since, in her words, she now knew the truth. She would have known if she'd let me talk when I went to her house. Too late, mother. A couple hours later, my dad showed up at my door banging like it was a SWAT team. I opened the door but didn't let him in. First thing he says, "We need to talk about this." He tried to reach past the door to come in, but I pushed it shut and told him, "Your son lied, you believed him. You kicked me out without even asking my side, now deal with it." Closed the door. Meanwhile, Dante's wife finally opened the Dreyfus folder and saw everything. She went more nuclear than me. Word is, she threw all his stuff on the front lawn and changed the locks the next morning. I haven't talked to her, not my circus anymore, but someone told me she's already meeting with a divorce lawyer. Good for her. I think we owe each other a talk, since it will be important in my defamation case. Especially now that she's in hire a hitman for Dante mode. Dante is now living at my uncle's house, sleeping in the basement with a couple of rats keeping him company. The whole family is divided, half pretending nothing happened, the other half acting like they always knew he was trouble. At least there are few left with Dante's stupid version. And no, I'm not gonna say I feel bad for my family and all the drama, screw 'em. I'm even talking to the lawyer because I'm going to screw them more. Or at least my brother is going to get screwed out of this. He should have chosen to lie to his wife with one of his friends, but since he must not have any, he decided to involve me in this. Now he discovers that he took a bull to a china shop and he will be the bruised porcelain. Update 2. You'd think he'd stop after getting exposed? Hell no. This idiot doesn't know when to quit, but it plays in my favor and it's been a good idea not to rub legal troubles in his face, because now he's getting into new ones. About a week after the receipts hit the family group chat and his wife kicked him out, Dante decided he was gonna fix everything. His plan? A family meeting. No joke. Sent a mass text to the whole family saying, "Family meeting at mom and dad's Saturday night. Time to clear the air and stop doing all this over text." Also said something about healing from what I read in a screenshot they sent me. He's still blocked. Translation: I need everyone to pretend I'm not a lying, cheating piece of crap. Anyway, Saturday night rolls around. Obviously, I had no plans to go. Was chilling at home eating junk food and watching Netflix. Then my cousin, the only smart one I have, texts me, "Dude, you gotta come. You won't believe the crap he's pulling." So yeah, I went. I threw on a hoodie and headed over to see what kind of circus Dante was about to put on. I got to my parents' house and the tension was thick. Everyone sitting in the living room like we were about to have a will reading. Dante was standing at the front like he was about to give a PowerPoint presentation. As soon as I walked in, he put on this fake serious face and said, "Glad you came, bro, we need to put the past behind us." Didn't say anything, just sat down with my arms crossed waiting while recording this. He started off saying how sometimes people make mistakes, but families are about forgiveness and moving on. No families are perfect, because every family is full of imperfect beings, but it is noble that we can forgive each other and move on. Then he started mentioning small mistakes by other family members, like forgetting dessert or things like that. Mentioning that we had all forgiven them. Sure, infidelity is like not bringing the apple pie and ice cream. I told him if among the things that are forgiven was also lying about my alleged attempt to abuse his wife, and he said, yes, because today was the time we all forgave and forgave ourselves. He was giving a fucking mass. All that was missing was for people to say amen. And then I swear to God, he pulls out a forgiveness contract. A printed out piece of paper that was written in Microsoft Word or something. 2 pages full of paragraphs that said stuff like, by signing below, we agree to let go of past grudges and never mention previous mistakes. Passed around pens like we were at a car dealership. Gave one to me too. Looked me dead in the eye and said, if you really love this family, you'll sign. Everyone was staring at me to see if I'd sign. I didn't even blink. I took the paper, ripped it in half, dropped it on the coffee table, and said, shove your contract up your cheating ass. Then I stood up, looked at my mom and dad, who were sitting there like stunned mullet, and said, if you sign this crap, don't ever call me again. Apparently, after I left, Dante had a complete meltdown because they weren't signing. My aunt texted me later, saying she and her husband politely refused to sign Dante's forgiveness contract. No one signed, except 2 people, one of them being our useless uncle, who probably thinks cheating is normal behavior. Last I heard, Dante's still living at our uncle's. No wife, no house. Half the family isn't talking to him. Good riddance. Dude deserves to rot. You can't try to destroy your brother's life to protect yourself and then expect a family reunion afterward. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Update 3. I was being asked what happened after the stupid family meeting, where Dante tried to hand out a forgiveness contract, like we were all signing up for a pyramid scheme. Turns out, Dante's wife, now ex-wife, though not officially, had her own plans. I would swear that we are in a nuclear war with his wife, but instead of attacking each other, we are firing all the missiles at Dante. Only we compete to see who destroys it the most. About 2 weeks after the meeting disaster, everything blew up. My cousin sent me screenshots out of the blue. Dante's ex-wife, let's call her Marina, posted everything online. I'm talking a fat, Juicy Facebook post with everything that can ruin a man. Like the exact nights Dante cheated on her, names of the girls he did it with, screenshots of Dante's sexting, credit card charges for hotels, receipts for dinners he charged to their joint account, DMs he sent to random girls on Instagram. She organized it by date, which makes me proud, but not with colors. She even made a backup Google Doc that she mentioned in the comments, in case Dante tried to report her post. And she tagged Dante, tagged my mom, and tagged anyone who knew him. That shouldn't be legal to upload to Facebook. It was like watching a live execution. And the comments started rolling in immediately. Some highlights. They got you by the balls and they're not letting go. Dude, the trash doesn't even want to be with you. People started tagging more people in the comments. The comment section became a roast battle. It was beautiful. I was crying from joy. Dante tried to defend himself. First, he commented, "This isn't the whole story. You're leaving out important parts." Bad idea, because they tore him apart. One comment said, "You know a lot about not leaving things out, because you haven't left anything out of your lover." Meanwhile, Marina wasn't done. She leveled up. I shed a tear for how proud I am of her. She requested, along with the divorce, sole custody of their dog. Had his accounts frozen, and served him the legal papers at my uncle's house where he was still living. They say he was waiting for a food order, but instead he was served divorce papers without salt, so that it wouldn't affect his blood pressure more than it would. On top of that, Marina called his employer. Just sent them the link to the very public Facebook post. Dante's company had a morality clause in his contract about conduct that could damage the company's reputation. HR set up a meeting. New rumors. Dante went in thinking he could charm them, but he came out charming with a pink slip. Karma's a bigger bitch than any of us, but Marina makes Karma scared. I've been talking to Marina, since she's also part of my defamation suit. Which I'm glad to have on my side, because I'm more afraid of her than Karma is. It's not like we chose this week to notify them about the lawsuit, but it couldn't have come at a better time. I said it was going to feel like porcelain being hit by a bull, but I lied, because it wasn't just one bull, it was several. Update 4. So, after getting divorced, roasted online, fired, losing his dog, getting sued, having his picture pierced by a dart and ignored by half the family, you'd think Dante would finally shut up. Nope. About a month after Marina decimated his life, because she decimated it like Marina were 50-meter waves, Dante decided to reinvent himself as a washed-up influencer trying to make a comeback after getting cancelled. Made a new Facebook account, new name, new profile picture, fake inspirational quotes all over the place. His bio said, "Survivor, fighter, believer in second chances." The guy put a star emoji in his bio. It's like he thinks he's a rising star, or so he's left what I don't want to say, but you can already imagine. The first post he made, always strong, even when the world doesn't seem to be against you. The world doesn't seem to be against you, you've put it against you. A bunch of cringy quotes. A whole blah 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 of stuff he doesn't even understand. He even started posting black and white selfies to make them extra sad. No one bought it. He started adding people from high school, old friends, even random acquaintances, sending friend requests like a desperate man every day. Facebook blocked his account for spam. And then, and this is where it gets good, Dante decided he was going to host a healing barbecue. I'm serious. Invited a bunch of people to my parents' backyard. Sent out a Facebook event called Starting Over, Forgiveness, Food, Family, like he was Tony Robbins or something. Even promised free beer and food. The whole event was basically him trying to throw a pity party and rebrand himself as the guy who went through hard times but grew from it. Which was immediately suspended when my parents found out and cancelled it. He had forgotten to ask if he could have one at their house or if they forgave him for what he had done. No, they didn't sign the contract. But it's not like they've forgiven him for believing him in the first place either. A few people who'd RSVP'd got mad at my parents for being party poopers, but my parents eventually blocked Dante from their social media. And the best part? Marina's sister, who is a savage, posted a story that same day. Now I understand that this nuclear thing runs in the family. I also now have a better understanding of everything my brother did. He was very afraid of Marina and what she would do to him. A picture of Marina on a boat with her new boyfriend, holding a glass of wine, laughing with a huge smile. The caption read, "Surround yourself with people who actually love you." Tagging Marina and her new guy. Meanwhile, Dante is still eating lukewarm hot dogs in the basement with two rats who probably know more about loyalty than he does. Dante's last post on his new Facebook was, "I can keep taking hits because life has made me a fighter, a person with an unbreakable spirit." 0 likes, 0 comments, no one cares. More hits for Dante and his spirit starting to crack, because he hasn't posted in 2 weeks. He might be too busy flipping burgers at a local diner. I have nothing against that job, but for a guy who was making over $60,000 a year, it can't be fun. It's also no fun that there's a lawsuit with his name on it that hasn't ended, but when it does, I'll be back with my last update. There may be more in between if Dante keeps messing with life, but with his spirit broken, humanity won't have to endure his facet anymore. Update 5. Dante is getting better. I've been told he's got a new rat, so now there are 3 of his friends. In these 5 long months that I've waited for the end of my lawsuit, I haven't even gone to eat at the restaurant where he works. And that I'm a big fan of junk food. But I'm not going to risk eating a burger that might be adulterated by my brother. I'm also not going to give him inspiration for new inspirational phrases. If life turns its back on you, spit the burger at it. I have a better one. If your brother says you're not going to lie to cheat on your wife, you better not do anything, because then you end up making stupid phrases. But enough of this spiritual part full of words taken from the Holy Scriptures. Let's move on to the lawsuit. Among the things that have happened in the lawsuit was that he had an encounter in the hallways with Marina and her new boyfriend. But they only exchanged glances and little else. Dante was too scared to confront them. You'd think it was because of the boyfriend, since he's a big guy and could leave him sitting on his butt any day of the week. But Dante knows the truth. I know the truth. His new boyfriend knows the truth. And the officer standing outside knows the truth. Dante was afraid of Marina. The lawsuit was simple with the evidence and lack thereof. My brother couldn't prove what I supposedly tried to do. Marina testified against him that all she knows about that day is that she went to bed and didn't hear anything. Then there's the recording. We reached a settlement of $12,000 and a post on his old account telling the true facts, a public apology and a promise not to do it again. What he hasn't done is make phrases again, and I think he even deleted that profile. At least he still has $12,000 left in his savings. Not anymore, that's what he had to pay me. Well, but he still has his job. A place I can't go to eat now, but with how bad my brother is doing, I think I can make that sacrifice. He's also paid for a lot of meals with his financial compensation. I know you've asked about my parents or my family in general, but I'm still not in contact with them. A cousin and little else is all I have left of the family right now. I'm even jealous of my brother who has my uncle, the one who has already made me the 3 rats. It's bigger than my family. We are talking about quantity, not quality here. I'm not saying goodbye because I'm probably still answering comments. Edit. For those who asked where in the Bible those things are said, you can find them on page 78.5. It will take you a while to find it, but look carefully, all the phrases are there.